Let's go ice dance. Let's talk about our medalists. It is a three-peat and a record 7 Grand Prix Final medals for Madison and Evan at their 9th Grand Prix Final. Fournier Beaudry and Cizeron of France continued their beautiful disruption of the ice dance event with the silver. And Fear and Gibson of Great Britain deny Canadians Piper and Paul by 6/100ths of a point to claim their 2nd consecutive Grand Prix Final bronze. That was definitely where the issues were in, the drama. But before we go there, let's give a shout out to Layla Billion and Alexander Brandeis, who were in the Junior Grand Prix circuit. They had a rough rhythm dance, but finished 3rd in the free dance to move up to 5th place. It's a really strong team. I think they're gonna have a really bright future. It's really nice to see all the juniors there. Okay, but let's get into it. Let's talk tech panel. Let's talk the tech panel again.
It was better.
It was good.
People got levels.
It was good.
Yeah, it was good.
I think so. I think there aren't too many surprises.
I also think that doing the back bracket as one of the level things for a dance is just rude. Nobody does a back bracket.
No, and for good reason. And I think that's why they did it. Like, ain't none of you getting a level 4. If you did, that would be the actual real scandal. A level 4 in the partial step sequence. But let's talk about Chock and Bates, who led the competition all throughout this. The rhythm dance, they looked really strong. I think they're now the only team who have kept Guillaume and Laurence at bay. They've defeated everybody else and they've shown up. But what did you think of their rhythm dance here, Chock and Bates?
It's definitely looking cleaner to me. The lines are a lot stronger. They look more connected with each other. I just do find them a bit slower than the rest of the teams. They don't cover as much of the ice surface. And the dance break in the middle of step sequence still
irks you, eh?
Still bugs me a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's also growing on me a little bit. So maybe by Olympics, I'll like it.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of this to start at their first Grand Prix at China. It's kind of growing on me, but I will agree that they are super duper slow. They still get really high positive GOEs on like their twizzles. Meanwhile, every other team is like barreling down into their twizzles. So I don't necessarily agree with certain things like that, but they were very, very, very strong. I think what they sold, I'm buying, especially in this Matador free dance. They've changed the dress. I kind of missed that little flicker of red, but what they're giving is just so expensive. And I remember we've talked about that choreo sequence where Evan does the clapping, and we're like, we're not really buying it. I felt it was better this time.
It is getting better. Yeah. Evan, I think, is really working on his facial expressions, and I can see that throughout the program. At the same time, I think it exhausted him a little bit because facial expressions are really difficult. And by the end of the program, I felt like they were getting a little dragging.
Yeah.
But yeah, the clapping section in the middle of the program is just like 5 seconds where I just get so disconnected from what they're doing. The rest of the program's magical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was just a little blip at the end where the bull is attacking her. She went to go stiff arm him and almost tripped over, which, happens to the best of us when we're fighting a giant bovine, AKA your husband. But other than that, I thought they just looked so crisp. I just wish that they skated faster because what they're giving, like I said before, is just expensive. The way she just plays with that skirt. Every time the camera's on her, I feel like she just knows and gives it a look. And it's brilliant. They're unmatched. They have something there, but a 131, a season's best for them. But let's head on to the French team, Laurence and Guillaume. They are officially here. They've beaten everybody but fall to Maddie and Evan. What did you think of them, starting with the rhythm dance?
Rhythm dance, well, you know how I feel about this rhythm dance. I just can't get behind it. I don't know what it is. Well, actually, I do know part of what it is, and it's because they stay on 2 feet for a lot of the program. And if you watch the very beginning, it's about 10, 15 seconds where there's not even a push. And I don't know, I think I like skating.
You like figure skating?
I like figure skating.
How dare you?
But overall, they are getting crisp. It looks like they're working more together, like things that take time to learn. And, well, they're impressive.
Yeah, when you look at, for example, let's like go all the way to the people who finished in the bottom, Zingas and Kolesnik. Right when they start their Bell Bib DeVoe rhythm dance, they're in it. They're doing an illegal axel, which they got called here, even though they've been doing it all season so far. I do find that there is a lot of 2-foot skating into it. Like what they do with their hands, very crisp, very good.
And I think it distracts you from what's happening below.
Yeah.
So ignore like cut off half the screen maybe, and then judge the program.
Yeah, a little bit of close-up magic never hurt anybody, except for maybe the skating. But we got to talk about their free dance, which was just absolutely ethereal.
Until
It wasn't. The beginning where they have those crunching edges is like my ASMR. I could go to sleep on that just on repeat. But yes, everything they do is just with such spectacular quality. Their sweeping edges, their deep connection with each other. The fact that they match so well, and it's only been like 7 months together, maybe a year since they've announced they're coming together.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, until it wasn't right at the end, going into their final choreographic lift, her Hayton-ass dress catches her toe, and she falls pretty hard. I think there was blood actually after. At the kiss and cry, you can see there was blood coming out of her knee. Yeah, but again, I think that they would have maybe been ahead of Chock Bates without this major interruption in fall.
I definitely agree. They also had the extended lift, so 2 fairly big deductions for not looking like there was very much wrong with the program. And that's what I do love about their free dance is that they show off that they can skate. That's the complete difference between the rhythm dance and the free dance for me. But it's so pretty and distracting. I don't know. It's the best way to watch skating and just be entranced by it. And then the fact that she managed to catch her toe pick on her dress, I have no idea how that happened. Like, I do know how it happened. She reached back and her toe somehow got stuck in her dress. But her dress isn't that long.
Not that long, yeah. I think it was just overzealous cross-cutting. Like, you're getting to the end, and then I think she lifted her foot too high.
So close to the end, too.
Yes, that's what had happened. That's what my coach would always say. When things are going well, that's when you pay attention.
Yep.
But very good. I think that, again, they've named that they are coming for those Olympic medals, and so many of the people,
just medal.
I think they want the gold. Everyone's got to watch out. Let's head into our bronze medalists, Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson of Great Britain. I think this is the most controversial one, especially as Piper and Paul and this team were jostling between 3rd and 4th. They did skate really well here, and it's always hard for me to critique without feeling like I'm crapping on them, which is not the case at all. What they do well. They're entertaining. They can put together a theme, put together a program. I think we've talked about how much we've liked their rhythm dance, the Spice Girls, but I do not agree with them being ahead of Piper and Paul when we finally had all 6 teams go head to head. Let's talk about some score stuff, because I think it was the GOEs. If we look at, let's start with the rhythm dance. Piper and Paul's technical element score was a 31.32 in base, and which moved up to 46.47, while Lila and Lewis had a 30.07, which moved up to 45.98. So I don't understand how you go from almost a 1.5 points ahead to reducing it by like 0.3, especially when they had higher levels. And I don't think that Lila and Lewis, in terms of GOE, skated much better.
No, like Lila and Lewis have a lot of amazing qualities. They're major performers. They get the crowd involved. It gets loud in the stadium because everyone's enjoying themselves. But the difference in skating, I think, is actually more noticeable because you can see that the speed is just not as comparable to what Piper and Paul have. They skate incredibly across the ice. And the handholds, I find, are a lot more clunky. So there's always reaching for each other or like gripping onto each other in hopes not to lose each other. And seeing them skate back to back like that, I know there was a warm up between them. It looked extremely evident, the difference in their skating qualities.
I completely agree. Like, you can just see from the way one team takes a push and glide, they eat up so much more ice on, say, an outside edge into a rocker than Lila and Lewis. Like you say, like with ice dance, the goal is to make everything look super easy and seamless. When you're watching Piper and Paul, you get that feeling of ease, quality. They know where each other are at any time, any moment, and the complexity of hold is actually there. I find Lewis and Lila have almost none, especially in the free program. There's just maybe one section going into their twizzles where they have a little bit of something, but it's all just lifts up, lifts down. And I have another kind of little example before we move on. Let's talk about the choreo step in the free program. So when we talk about Fear and Gibson's choreo sequence, they're doing a Celtic Scottish jig, but it is just toe step, cross behind, cross behind, cross behind, cross behind. You're gonna tell me that that is worth more than Guillaume and Laurence, who are literally rolling on the ice, making intricate movements and all these different things. I don't buy it.
I don't either.
Yeah.
And you can see it in all those teams, they're rolling on the ice and everything like that, but they're also twisting amongst each other, which is so hard. I have to do some pair things in this in this tour that I'm doing right now, and it's hard. I lose people's hands all the time. It's a good thing I'm not a dancer, but I understand that it's the style of program, the Celtic dance. There isn't a lot of holds, but they could even do that linked arms maybe to make it look a little bit more challenging. And I just don't understand.
That's the job of like the choreographer and the skaters to like, you take something, but how do we make it difficult but still keep the integrity of what we're trying to show? And I find they don't do that in certain elements. And I know that people are making a big fuss about like their 1 foot section, they go into a backspin. I'm like, yeah, but star 1, star 2s do a backspin, so I'm not as moved. Plus, it didn't match. And you know, a lot of the skating fans are also very upset and feel that Piper and Paul should have been in 3rd place, and I'm agreeing with them. And again, love you, Lila and Lewis, but not your fault. This is the judging, so I put it all on them. But yeah, so. And there's been some interesting posts by Piper as well.
Yeah, sometimes there's a point where you should probably put the phone down, but I understand being frustrated.
We know where you're coming from, but there is a balance that you gotta strike.
Take a moment.
For sure.
Breathe. Yeah. After Olympics, have fun.
We should also take a moment and breathe, because that ice dance event was so frustrating, but